Today I will be showing you how to make this unicorn Pegasus here, and let's get started. First we are going to make the front legs here, and I made this horse here slightly smaller, the legs just one less rubber band, less rung, so we'll go ahead and do that. So for the legs, we are going to take the front legs, we're going to take 3 single rubber bands, and we're going to put it from the 8th peg from the bottom, 2, 4, 6, 8, 3 single rubber band, and connect it from that peg to that peg, and we are going to do that 4 times. Now you'll need 2 of these, and I already made one, so after you make this one, you want to go ahead and pause the video and make another set. So this is 3 sets, single rubber bands, 4, and now we're taking 2 single rubber band, we are doubling it to make the white part of the leg. Again, we're going to do that 3 times, 2 single rubber band, doubling it, 2 single rubber band, doubling it. And then we are going to cap off the bottom of our loom there with the hooves. And you can use whatever color you want. I'm choosing to do black this time. And I'm looping it, taking a single and looping it twice, making a 3 loop. So that's 2 single rubber band, looping it twice. So now I'm going to go ahead and go under the cap band, grab those bottom rubber bands, and looping it onto itself. If there's any tension at all, please release it, and use the metal hook to make this animal. So that's the front leg, and when you're done, put it on your holding hook, and if you want to, pause the video so you can make another one. I already made one here, so I have 2 front legs, and you can pause the video to make another one. And also your choice of rubber band is really important. You want sturdy rubber bands or firm rubber bands, so that way when you take it off you kind of tell the horse will be able to stand with the legs being straight like this. If it's curved or anything, it probably won't stand. So now I'm going to do the hind legs. Same thing, from the 8th peg from the bottom, 4, 6, 8. We're going to take 3 single rubber bands, and we're going to do that 4 times. And we'll go ahead and take another set of 3 pink, and we're going to make her thigh meatier. And now we are taking 2 single whites and making the white part of her leg. Take 2 single whites, doubling it, and doing that 3 times. And then capping to make the hooves, 2 single rubber bands, looping it around twice, creating 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. There. And now go ahead and reach under those cap bands and loop. You'll need another one of this hind leg, so when you're done, go ahead and put it on your holding hook and go ahead and make another one. And for the hind legs, after you get to the second pink from the bottom, you want to take your third pink there and go over to the side to catch this part of the thigh. And then you want to loop that up and then loop the other side up. So that's your thigh, and go ahead and put it on your hook, and you can pause the video to make another one. There's my legs. So now let's do the eyes, and for our eyes I'm going to make it blue. So I'm going to take a single blue, looping it around 4 times around my hook. Take a single white, I'm going to double it and pulling the eye part onto that rubber band. And I'm going to repeat. Take a single blue, loop it 4 times. Take a single white, double, and pulling the eye right onto that. Now you have your eyes, and then since my horse here, my Pegasus, will be pink, I'm going to take a pink single and pulling the eyes right onto there. And I'm going to put it on my holding hook for later. Now we can make the ears. For the ears, we're going to take 2 single rubber bands. You can use the bottom of the loom there. 2 single rubber bands. And we're going to loop it off 3 times. And if you want it sharper, you can do 4. But you can just do 3. And go ahead and loop it onto itself. And put it on your hook for later. And now let's make the wings. For the wings, we are going to use the top of our loom, single rubber bands, and I'm going to use this jelly or clear-ish color to make it a little sparklier. So we're going to need 2 of these, and I'll make both with you. So you're taking a single rubber band, and from the left side of the peg, you want to put 1 down. And then in the center, so on the left, 1, in the center 1, and then you can change your color. I'm going to use purple, and from the top peg there to the side peg. So that's what you have. You should have 1 going here, 1 going here, and this is the top of the wing, so I'm making it yellow, and underneath I'm giving it a little color, and you can use whatever rubber band you want, any color. And some might turn out thicker than others. So this next yellow, I'm going to put on the left side here from the second peg to the third peg, and the center from the second to the third, same yellow. And I'm going to change up my wing color. I'm going to take a green from the far right, from the first to the second peg. And now I'm going to do another color. I'm going to take a tannish pinkish, and I'm taking it from the right second peg to the center third peg. And we're going to continue with the yellow on the side here, the left side, from the third to the fourth. And we can put 1 more, the yellow, from the 4th to the 5th. So you should have 4 rubber bands, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to finish the outside of the wing, the bottom of the wing, with some more colors. So you can choose whichever color you want. I'm going to do purple, and I'm going to do from the center peg, from the 3rd to the 4th, and then finishing it off, closing it up from the 4th through the 5th left peg. So that's what your wing, that's what it should look like. And now let's go ahead and cap the end off here. You can put it any color you want. I'm choosing green, and I'm going to loop it 3 times. And now let's do a holding rubber band. I'm going to take my yellow, I'm going to double it, a single yellow, pushing down my rubber bands a little bit and creating that small triangle there. So I'm taking a single and I'm doubling it and creating that small single yellow. And now I'm going to take another yellow, doubling it, and I'm going to put it on these 3 triangles here. So now we are ready to loop. We are going to go in the cap band, the last one, the left one on the 5th. Go under the cap band, grab the top single, and then just bringing it onto itself, creating a teardrop. And that should go in the center 4th peg. Again, that same peg that we're under the cap band, grab the last single under there and looping it onto itself like that. And now you're going to grab in here in the second left peg from the bottom, reach past the holding rubber band, grab the bottom single and looping it onto itself. And just go ahead and finish looping the left side of the wing all the way up. Make sure to pull back the holding rubber band, don't loop it, don't pull it to loop, just bring the bottom rubber band. And now we'll do the side of the wing, so the center to the 3rd, the 4th peg to the 3rd, looping it onto itself. Now we're grabbing the 3rd center to the right, the 3rd top single, and looping it to the right. I'm just taking the rubber band. If I'm explaining because I don't know if you can see it or not, it's a little jelly-like. So just take the top single and looping it onto itself. You're just taking rubber bands, the single, and looping it onto itself. You'll see that you've done it correctly because you'll see teardrops forming. And so we'll go ahead now and finish up the looping to the very tip there. And that's what your wing should look like. And now we are going to take 2 yellows, the same yellow as the top of the wing, and then we are going to put it on this peg to this peg, so the center to the left. So we're going to put 2 single yellow from this peg to that peg. So now we are going to hold those rubber bands down, and we are going to pull, just reach and pull it onto that 2 single that we just looped on. And again on the other side, reach under, grab all those rubber bands, and we're pulling it right onto those 2 singles. And now let's go ahead and take off our wing. Be careful not to get these 2 yet. We'll put it on a hook for later. We're going to add it to, let's put it on the other side of our hook here. We're going to add a single rubber band to it. So that's our wing. Now let's make the second wing. Let's take a single yellow and put it on the left side, 1 down, single yellow, center, 1 down, taking a color for the under of the wing, from the center to the right, and then we can just do 1 down on the right, a different color. Now we can do another yellow from the center 3rd, 2nd to 3rd, and the left from 2nd to 3rd. And now let's close the right hand side of the wing from the 2nd right to the 3rd center, and take another yellow on the left 3rd to the 4th, and add some color for the under of the wing from the center 3rd to the 4th. Do another yellow on the left from the 4th to the 5th, and then closing up your wing from the center 4th to the 5th on the left. And now let's go ahead and cap it off. Going to cap it off 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now we're putting our holding rubber bands. Take your single, double it, putting on this small triangle here, another single, double, and put it on this triangle here near the top of the loom. And now you're ready to loop. Same thing. You're going to reach under those cap band, grab the top single, and looping it onto itself, creating teardrops. Reach back in, grab another, the last single in there, and looping it onto itself. Reach under the 4th peg on the right, the left, grabbing that single at the very bottom. Don't grab the holding rubber band, and just finish looping up. Pull back any holding rubber bands. Don't loop it. Doing the underside of the wing now. The 3rd peg from the center, grab the top single, looping it onto itself. The next single, and just finish looping it up. Once you've done that, go ahead, take your 2 single yellow that matches the top of the wing, or whatever color your wing is. Put it on these 2 peg here, the center and the left, and go ahead and bring your wing onto those single rubber bands. And go ahead and put it on your hook for later. There's your second wing. And now let's go ahead and transfer it on the single rubber band to put on your body. We are going to go ahead and put it on our loom. Make sure you get all the rubber bands on there. Transfer it on the peg like that, and on the next peg together. And now we want the top of our wings to be facing down or facing in the same direction. And now we're going to take a single that matches the body and put it across the 2 pegs where you put your wings, and then we are going to hold it down, and we're going to transfer the wing onto that single rubber band to put on the body for later. Same thing on the other side. Reach in, grab all your wing parts, and transfer it, looping it right over the peg and onto the single rubber band. There are your wings onto that single rubber band, and you can put it on your hook for later. There. Now we're ready to make our Pegasus. So let's go ahead and take 2 single rubber bands like we did for our horse. We're going to create the face. We're going to take it diagonally from the center to the side, and 1 down, 2 rubber bands each. 2 single rubber bands to the cheek, and push it down for the chin part here. And again, we're repeating the same on the other side. This is pretty much the body for the horse that I made before. Same thing for the chin peg. Please push it down, but don't let it overlap. Let's go ahead and do the center of the face, and we want to add our mane. So if you want it glittery or any color, go ahead and choose those rubber bands, and you can use as many as you want. Go ahead and stick it on a peg, either the first or the second one, it doesn't matter, and choose the rubber band you want to go around the horn, and I'll choose white, and you can do yellow or whatever color, even the body of the same color as the body, that's okay too, and bring all the mane right onto that rubber band and push it down, and repeat for the next one. Get your mane, put it on the peg, and then put your two single rubber bands from the center peg, second center, to the chin. And the more rubber bands you have, the thicker the mane, but it's just a little harder to see. So here's my finishing up my face rubber band here. Pull the mane right onto it. Now let's continue to the neck area. And for the neck, we're going to do the side of the neck first. So we're going to take a single rubber band and put it diagonally, and we are going to come 2 down. And repeat on the other side. Come diagonally from the center peg, the chin peg, and coming 2 down. Now for the center of the neck, let's go ahead and add some mane. And the more you add, the thicker the mane. So let's go ahead and put your mane rubber bands down. Take 3 single rubber bands, and we're going to loop it from the chin peg and 1 down, then pulling our mane up. Push it down and do it 1 more time for a neck. Three single rubber bands, and then looping the mane right onto it. Okay, now we're going to start on the body. We're going to use 2 single rubber bands and looping it to the side, connecting the neck. Again, same thing on the other side. And we are going to come down 4, 2 rubber bands at a time. For the last one, you're going to come in, repeat on the other side, now the center of the body. So let's go ahead and take 2 single rubber bands from the base of the neck down 1, and then if you want her body to be thicker, you can use 3 rubber bands, which I'm going to do. So take 3 rubber bands and put it all the way down to her bottom. And you can also make the body shorter if you want by doing only 3 and then coming in. But since this is going to be the Pegasus, I wanted to give a little room for the wing. So we'll go ahead and do it 4. So these are 3 single rubber bands coming down to the end peg there. There you go. And now we can add the wings. And for the wings, you want to add it so that way the top of the wing here faces up towards the face. So we're going to take it carefully off the loom, and we're putting it on the 2, 4, 6th peg on either side. So one side, put it on the 6th peg, making sure and stuff it right inside. your loom like that, right in between the rubber bands, and then stretch it across and put the other side onto the 6 peg on the other side, and go ahead and push your wings right underneath. And then what you want to do is go ahead and loop the center rubber band up on the 6 peg in the center. So everything's going on the 6 peg from this side to this side, and then looping the center on there. And now let's go ahead and add the ear since it's right here. Add it to the ear peg. And add the eyes on the 2nd peg from the top. Split them out and then looping it right onto that, or over that 2nd peg from the top. And go ahead and add the back legs onto these 2 bottom pegs there. And remember, there are 2 parts to the thigh, and it's separated for you. So put one side on one peg and the other side on the bottommost where your rubber bands are. So that's one side of the back legs. And do the other one, same thing. Make sure you get all your rubber bands onto that peg. Okay, now let's put some holding rubber bands. Let's start with the face. We're going to take a single and looping it around the eyes to create that triangle there. And now for the neck, for this very first neck, the 3rd peg across, pull it down, because we're going to make that extra tight. We're going to take a single rubber band and we're going to stretch it across 3 times. If you can't do 3, go ahead and do 2. I'm just making it so that way her neck is very cinched in towards her chin. And now for the next pegs there, one down, we are going to take a single rubber band and we're going to double it to make the neck smaller than the body. So there, single, single, triple, single, double there on the neck. Now let's put some holding rubber bands for the body. Let's go ahead and take 2 singles and put it right under the wing. There, that triangle here. And this wing already created the holding rubber band, so we'll just leave that one. And we'll take another single right there over her bottom. And let's go ahead, that should be enough, and let's go ahead and cap her bottom off there 3 or 4 times, whichever you can do. So just loop it, 2, 3, 4, creating a cap band there. And now we are ready to loop. So we're going to go in there, grab the top 3, which is the bottom rubber bands, and just create a nice teardrop. And go ahead and loop it onto itself. Again, reach back in, grab the next 2, and looping it onto itself. And let's make the horn after this, since we want it to be a unicorn Pegasus. But if you don't want it to be a unicorn Pegasus, you can just go ahead and continue looping up. But to make the horn, we're going to do this 3 times. And I'm going to do it, you can do it on the loom, but I'm just going to do it over the hook here. So I'm going to loop the tip 5 times. If you want to do 4, you can, but I'm doing it 5 to make it sharper. And then we're going to take a single, double, and pull all those rubber bands onto the single that we just doubled, the 5 looped rubber bands. And we're going to continue this for 4 times. And again, you can do it on the loom. Just do it 4 times and then cap it off 4 or 5 times and then just loop it. Again, just single, double, and pull it through. And I have 2 more. Single, double, that's 3. Again, if you want it like at this length, you can just leave it. If you want it a little longer, we'll try a little longer. 4th one. There's your horn. Now we're going to take a single. If this is too long for you, then make it 1 less. Take a single rubber band the same color as the body. Go ahead and get it on your horn onto there, and then we are going to attach it to the first 2 pegs there on the side pegs where the ears are. There's the horn. And now let's go ahead and keep looping. I'm going to turn to the side if you want to. If you can't see the bottom 2, we're going to grab the bottom 2 rubber bands on the side of the body and looping it onto itself. Again, there's lots of rubber bands in there. Just reach in, grab the bottom 2. And you want to see nice teardrops, and these teardrops are catching your rubber bands. Pull back any holding rubber bands and looping it onto itself and stop at the shoulder. Let's go on the other side, same thing. Reach in, grab the bottom 2, looping it onto itself and stopping at the shoulders. And now I have 1 more. Stop at the shoulders. Okay, there we are at the shoulders. And now let's take the front legs, put it through the loop, and go ahead and grab only the top 2 because the bottom one is the neck rubber band. Grab the bottom 2 and looping it. Put the legs on and looping it onto the neck rubber peg there. And again, the other leg. I'm going to grab the top 2, pull the legs of the front leg right onto it, and go ahead and loop it onto that neck peg there, the bottom neck. And now let's go ahead and finish up the center of the body very carefully. And all the way up to the the neck peg there in the center. And now if you want, let's continue up the neck because there's a lot of rubber bands. Make sure you get the bottom 2, 3, it should be 3, yep, the bottom 3 rubber bands, and looping it up just once. Then let's do the side of the neck. Go ahead and grab that single, looping it up. Get behind any holding rubber bands. There's a lot of tension here. Go ahead and release it with your hook. Don't break your rubber band, don't force it. Other side. Make sure before you go on to any section, check to make sure your teardrops are catching all your rubber bands. And now let's finish the last neck rubber bands here. Pull it and looping it onto the chin peg. And now let's go ahead and reach under that chin peg and grab the center the rubber bands, the two that's going up to the center. Should create teardrops, and pulling it onto itself. Back in, grab the next top two. Mine's going to the left. You can't see it, turn it to the side to find it, and then looping it onto itself, and then finding the last bottom two and looping it onto itself. And now we're going to add the face. And this horse I made it a little smaller, so let's go ahead and do that here. This is unicorn. Let's go ahead and release some of the neck rubber bands, release some of the tension, and also giving us room to work to add our mouth area, the muzzle. So go ahead and push all your pegs, your rubber bands down on your peg. And now let's go ahead and take 3 single rubber bands from the second to the third, loop it with 3 single rubber bands, and then we're coming down coming down 1 with 2 single rubber bands. And then from the side peg, the second to the third, 2 single rubber bands, 2 single rubber bands on the other side. And now we're going to take a single, double, and we're going to put it from the third side to the center to close up the nose and the muzzle area. Single, double, there. And now let's go ahead and cap it off. You can cap it off 3 times. 2, 3. Now that's the 4th peg from the top. That's the end of the mouth. And for the 3rd pegs across there, you want to go ahead and try to loop it, if you can, 3 times to cinch up where the mouth is, the top of the nose where the mouth is, to make it narrower, more horse-like. Carefully, don't break your rubber bands. If you can't do it 2 times. So there's a single rubber band 3 times, and then we are going to take a single, we're going to double it and put it here, upside down, and put it right here. Just find upside down for that muzzle, nose, mouth area. Okay, now let's go ahead and loop those rubber bands. We're going to go under the capping rubber band, grabbing the top 2 very carefully. Use your fingers to help find which ones they are, and very carefully looping it onto itself. Again, next one. And the last 2, reach under those cap bands, grab only the top 2, and looping it onto itself. And now reach on the side there, carefully grabbing the 2 rubber bands. It's pretty tight. And pulling it. Careful not to release the tension here. Don't force it, because it's triple looped. Other side, same thing. Release your tension with your other hook and looping it onto itself. Now the center of the nose, pull back the holding rubber bands, grab the 3 single that we put, and looping it onto itself. And there you have it. And now let's go ahead and finish looping the second peg from the side on both sides. Reach under all those rubber bands, grab the bottom 2, and looping it onto the ear peg. Other side. Same thing, loop it up. And now let's go ahead and add some mane on the top. Get your rubber bands for your mane, as much as you can do. Put it on that top peg there, and we're going to loop. Take the rubber band, go under, all the way under, grab the bottom two, and looping it onto that top peg there. Other side, same thing, reach inside, grab the bottom two, and looping it right onto that top peg. And now let's finish up the face, and we're going to reach in there, grab, mine are white, the two bottom, whatever yours is, grab them, put the horn through it in the center, and looping it onto that top peg there, and pull the horn up if you want. Release any tension. And let's go ahead, and I'm going to use a white to kind of match the mane for the slip knot. And if you want, you can use more than one rubber band just in case it breaks. Go ahead and reach all the way in, making sure that we got all the rubber bands in there. And go ahead and pull it through, pull your mane up. Grab your slip knot rubber band and tying it off. Very carefully. Release any tension, and now we're ready to take her off the loom. Let's go ahead and very carefully with a hook. Now she's off the loom. Just very carefully adjust her, don't break your rubber bands. Pull her, push her eyes through. Pull it where it needs to be, and don't pop it out too much. It's kind of in there. There's her face, adjust her ears, and you can pull her neck back, slip it through. Pull that rubber band here, the neck rubber band, so she'll look up. Adjust her mane. There are her wings. Let's do the tail. We're going to start by getting your rubber band for the hair, as many as you want. Go ahead and put it on the fourth peg from the bottom. Take a single, put it across and pull your hair all on that peg. Again, get more rubber band, single, put a single, connecting it, and loop your hair onto there. And last one, same thing, take some ones to make the horse tail. Go ahead and pull all that tail up onto your rubber band, and then go ahead and hold it and loop it up. Again, same thing, kind of pull the hair back, loop up and onto itself. Next one, loop up and onto itself, like that. Now hold it down, and let's take these ones off. And we're going to take our little Pegasus, unicorn Pegasus here. And you can kind of adjust the face a little bit if you want, like that, and adjust, pull any rubber bands. So we're going to go on her bottom here, the top rubber band, put your hook through, grab, let's take the tail off the loom here, carefully pinching it, holding those looped rubber bands. We are going to take one side, pull it through, get the other side, creating a slip knot. And here I'm just going to go ahead and loop the tail, take the slip knot, open it up, and just pull the tail right over there, or right through it. And now we shouldn't worry about tucking it in, it'll just hold it and won't come apart. So there's your Pegasus, unicorn Pegasus. Again, go ahead and adjust her neck and her legs to the desired position, and she should be able to stand. There she is. I hope you like her. Thanks for watching.